Well, hi everyone, everyone's watching. I don't know if anybody is. So tonight I'm doing a bit of colouring, and I'm using some interesting software. So let's just jump straight into it, shall we? Where is that one? That one? Difficult. I'm having some technical problems tonight, you guys. I haven't got an input. It's not streaming very well at all, actually, come to think of it. Well, we'll see how we go. I think this is right. So this is a page from one of my comics. This is page 5. So yeah, let's talk about the software. I'm running on Linux. This is running Ubuntu. What's it going to be? 1804. This is 1804 running on an Entroware laptop, which doesn't sound great, but it's a thing. I've got a wireless mouse and an old book I'm resting on, and the computer's about a foot in front of me, on a low table. It's the best I can find at the moment. Software. This is Krita. It's an open source version of like Photoshop. I picked Krita because it handles colour spaces a lot better. So it it handles colour spaces better. So you can see a page in front of you here. This is a montage page. This was set up in Photoshop on another machine, and it's maintained its colour space, which in this case is CYMK. Okay, I think we've talked enough. Let's start some colouring. Hopefully, what I'll do is every so often I'll just switch windows and see what everyone's saying, if anyone's saying anything at all. If this is working, if there's any problems, just put a message on there. Otherwise, you know, don't worry about it. Right, so how I like to work. Right, let's get in there nice and big. So the artwork was drawn on paper with a pencil, just on cheap copy paper. I drew it with Kuretake number 8. It was scanned in as line art, which gave us black and white images, and then this has got an overlay on an image. So as you can see here, I've just got a colour, just a neutralish background, and then I've got this layer. This is the layer I'm actually going to be colouring in. So I'm going to start colouring now. And this is a polygonal marquee tool. Actually, zoom in a little bit more. Let's start with these kind of pages. Now I tend to go large to small and just in the foreground. So I'm just literally just going on the extreme outlines for everything. Okay, trying to get this little green line in the middle of my ink line, and I'm not worrying too much about the background. I like to try and keep the background separate to the foreground elements, so I'm almost doing 2 colour passes. The first colour pass will be the foreground elements, and the second pass will be the background elements, and this gives me a few options. I can knock the background back by, you know, putting an overlay on it, or colouring it in a different way. So anyway, I've made my selection. Let's go and pick a colour. What I want is a red colour. I have to pick the filter, which is that one. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's a slight. That's better. I haven't found a way around that yet. Normally I don't, it doesn't bother me, but because of the detail in this one, it is more of a problem. Right, having done that, I can go through and select the bits I want to be white. Let's do that again. Oh, this is working. I say this is I've never really done streaming before. This is the first time for me, but I've got the opportunity to try this tonight because my wife is out treading the boards, making rehearsals for a play, and my little girl is in bed. So I've got the old monitor there, keeping an ear out just in case of any problems, but I don't think there will be. Let's drop the yellow down. I don't want to use an 100% white. I like to use an off-white if I can, because then you've got an option. Then you've always got the ability to add an extra highlight on top if you ever want it. So that's a bit too dark. Let's drop that back a bit. There we go, that's a bit more like it. What I'll do is I'll duplicate the line art, and I'll isolate these bits and fill them in white to do like a colour hold. Oh, there's a little bit over there, let's get that. Alright. I'll deselect that. Let's get this colour. That's my eyedropper. I can't, these days I cannot get to grips with the black and white colour schemes everyone seems to have these days. You know, my experience of working with software back in the day, you had coloured apps, you had coloured icons, and that was actually really useful because it gave you the ability to see and group icons by colour. You could actually colour code your icons. I'll zoom out a bit. Let's do this pencil next. I'm going a bit rough with this. There's borders and panel edges to go on all of this anyway, so I'm not worrying too much at this point about yeah, something like that. I'm not worrying too much about you know, oh sorry, you can't see me pointing, the edges of the screen here, because there will be a border here, and we'll probably fade it off. I'll probably fade it off actually and have the screen, the page fully bled. I'll say yeah, out there. Just quickly do that. Nice. Alright, let's it gives us our two-tone sort of, yeah, those sort of pencils with yellow and black stripes. Let's do the wood bit now. As you can see now, all I'm doing now is I'm just selecting wildly here, because it doesn't matter, this area it's not filled, so the fill will just replace this area. It's makes for a really fast way of working. There we go with that. And finally we'll get the pencil red in. There's a little bit of highlight there. And we'll give that dark, probably a dark blue grey colour, something else, give that a point. Just fill that in, just draw that in very quick. Alright, that'll do for that. Right, let's do this bit in the middle. I'm sort of jumping from bit to bit, sort of putting in the bits I know I can get away with, without trying to find a colour model from previous pages, which is going to be all this static stuff. So if you don't know, this page is like a montage. It shows the development of a new spacecraft called the Kookaburra Mark II. It's a sort of a slightly this is a pseudo-historical story. It starts off in Australia in 1963, and the fledgling Australian Space Agency. Actually, we did come up with a better name, because it actually is an Australian Space Administration, so not wanting to tread on toes or get people confused, we changed the name. Let's just do this. No, let's go. Don't really like doing this. I'd rather just, normally I'd just rather just use the fill bucket, but it's just quicker and easier just to do that. Alright, we're just going to grab, oh no, I can't do that. I can't see, better zoom in a little bit more. That's better. Alright, zoom in a bit more. Get our red colour, and we'll just fill that. Brilliant. Okay, so that's that bit. Next I'm going to jump to the wind tunnel test here. I'll just quickly do this panel because I've got a definite idea. I want this part to be black and I want this part to be sort of more monochromatic, this bit to be sort of grey and this bit to be white, and a few bits here and there. So let's start on that. Now, a lot of people, a lot of colouring tutorials, I think Jason Brubeck has got a pretty good one actually, and I think I've lifted most of my techniques from him for this one. Sort of suggests this sort of approach, but my technique differs ever so slightly in that they are they flat their comic by just literally filling it with any colour that they want, because they're not looking to make a colour page. What they're looking to create is a set of selectable areas that you can then at a later date sort of define the colour. I'm constrained by one big factor, which is time. I don't have a lot of it, so increase the cyan, decrease the magenta. I want a greeny colour, something like that might do. Yeah, so I'm restricted by time. I'm restricted by yeah, I'm restricted by time. I'm restricted by a deadline, and it's Christmas, or coming up to Christmas, so everyone and his dog is now going to lose their minds, and the world's going to go absolutely crazy. Everyone's going to be running around buying all kinds of crazy presents and stuff like this. And I suppose I should ask everyone, has everyone done their Christmas shopping or that? I've done none of it yet, but I don't have a lot of family to sort of buy for. It's not that I've got a small family, I've got a large family, but in years gone by I used to buy tons and tons for various extended family, and it was just getting ridiculous. And because my family lived far away, it's becoming increasingly logistically difficult to do. So last year we sort of made a very conscious decision to sort of strip that down, and that's worked out quite nicely for us actually. I'm going to drop that back even a little bit more. It's a bit too much. Yeah, that's pretty nice, I like that. Right. I'm going to take these foreground. We're doing this really backwards here. So we go a little bit lighter. Just want to try and that was silly, Dave. I just want to try and get something a little bit interesting. Oh dear, oh well, gone over the lines. It only took 20 minutes and I'm already over the lines. I was never any good at colouring. Okay, let's take care of that. Okay. I'm just, at the moment, I'm just putting flat colours in. I'm not worrying too much about shading or placement of shadows. I'm more concerned with blocking areas of colour. I'll do the shadows on a separate pass. Right, let's do this model. This is going to be all kinds of fun and games, and that's going to be a big thing. So let's do model first, because this is the bond of the computer programmer, so I'm just going to take it right up close but not over. So ideally what I want to do is sort of feather that out. and then might have to trim, I might have to tweak that a little bit. Right, let's give myself a colour. Don't want to go too dark because I want the option of adding shading if I want to, and I think I'm going to want to add sort of like a foreground shading here to sort of hint at this stuff. Right. Let's see what time. See if any comments. But let's see if there's any comments. Any chats? No chats. That's okay. That's all good. Let's say this is the first time I've done this, so that's okay. Right. Let's do the computer, and then we'll start on these two guys. We'll start this guy. This is Bill. He's like one of the main heroes of the piece. He's a retired former Air Force test pilot who's been drafted in to sort of really sort of finalise the creation of the Kookaburra 2. So let's get started. I'm going to be wearing my sort of nerd credentials on my sleeve here, sorry people, but I'm sort of, this computer terminal is sort of very loosely based on the Commodore PET, because they're my sort of idea of what a futuristic computer of the 1970s should look like. So as a result, we'll go that colour, but we'll go beige, because that's the colour of computing in the 70s. Do I like that? Yeah, I think I'll overdo. Go a little bit light. Then go a little bit lighter. The only reason being is I'm going to be adding a shadow layer, and I want to put the shadow layer there and there without any sort of hard definitions. I think it would just sell the dimensionality of this monitor. Right, this programmer. She hasn't got a name. She is just a programmer. Which I know sounds terrible, and I suppose all characters should have some kind of backstory, so we could make one up, I suppose. But so we're going to work large to small. Now, this is not the best position to work in, but currently I am slightly limited in terms of time and space. As she left, my wife gave me a list of things that needed to be done. Could I please sort this out? And it's like, yeah, of course, not a problem, which I did with only 5 minutes before the stream was due to start. I have a office of sorts, but it is upstairs next to the baby's room, so I'm very conscious to not disturb the baby if I can help it. Okay. So I'm just going through and making lots of very short selections here. The largest area really is a cardigan, so we need to think of a colour for that. I'm tempted to go a green cardigan, beige or white blouse, brown hair, white. Treat these lenses as pure white. This chunk of the screen will treat as a very vibrant green, and I think that'll do us. So let's start off with some cyan, that. Get sort of kind of a British racing green sort of colour. I think that works quite nicely. Right, let's start with that. That looks pretty good. Might as well fill the lot, to be honest. There's probably some better fill settings in Creator that allow you to just fill and not stop when it, regardless of what's above it. So it stops when it hits a line, which you'd think it'd be useful. It actually is not great. I wanted to fill the selection, not to boundaries. So let's crack on. Right, we'll work down in the strip. So we'll do the hair. We'll do the blouse, skin, and the hair, and that is easy. So let's make that selection next. Myself another off-white colour with a slight hint of slightly more greenish. Oh, that's pretty good. No, that's alright actually, it's not too bad at all. Right, let's do the old skin colour. Let's go with a nice flesh tone. Yeah, we'll go with that. Right, now we'll do the hair. I think we'll make all sorts of colours. Go a bit mousy, I suppose. Let's have a look at that, let's see what that's like. Bit darker, I think. Yeah, I'm giving it a beehive because, you know, it's the 60s. It's a story that starts off in the 1960s, so obviously everyone should have, like, you know, beehives and be wearing shirts and ties, and, you know, i.e. no, there's no heavy metal band t-shirts, there's no, you know, track suits or anything like this. Yeah, it's that sort of age where, like, you know, I've seen pictures of relatives, you know, from like the late 70s, early 60s, as young people, and they dress and act like people in the 50s. You know, there's no fashion. I don't know if that's the right thing, but okay. Let's just quickly fill these in white. Oh, that's more of a yellow. Let's just go white. Actually, full on white. No messing. There you go. Retina burning white. Actually, that's got more of a red tint to it. Here we go. Proper retina burning white. There we go. My eyes, the goggles, they do nothing. Okay. It's now. Oh, I missed the days when icons had colours. It's so easy to see what you're doing. It's that one, isn't it? Right. For this part, because it's so disparate and it's so like lots of little chunks, I'm going to select the whole lot and just draw on it with a green pen. I'm going to probably end up adjusting her cardigan down as well. Actually, what I should be doing is getting that. Oh, this is going to be a difficult one because I'm going to have to fill this in black, and the ink lines are black. So yeah, got one rookie mistake. CYMK is an additive colour model, so there's no point ramping black up. It's black at a certain percentage. You have to put all the other inks on top as well to make your black. Whereas RGB, no, what is it? Yeah, CYMK is subtractive and RGB is additive. So with an additive, as you add the colours together, you get white. With a subtractive, as you add the colours together, you get black. Basically, right. So I'm going to have to knock the opacity back on this one for a little bit. Excuse me, while I select this area, so I can actually see to select the area. Okay. So. just gonna grab that bit. Okay. Let's bring that colour back up. Let's pick a pen. Let's give ourselves full on a black. So we give ourselves full on cyan and cyan and yellow. That looks pretty good. Right. I suppose we better fill this tractor paper, but I didn't know this till late. It's actually called tractor paper. Actually, first up, let's save what we got, because I realised looking at the time we've been going for nearly 40 minutes. That's pretty good. Let's just see if there's anything on the chat. Now on the chat, nothing on the chat. Fair enough. Well, I'm calling it there, I think, you guys. So what's next? Right, so next up is I'm going to be filling in this tractor paper here. I'll be tackling this. This is like stylized air moving over the model, so that will be done, and then we'll be filling in Bill's colour and everybody else's colour schemes, and that will be it for tonight. And then we'll be putting some backgrounds in, some text going on here. This will have part of a blueprint in there, and then we'll be merging this stuff together with a bit of sort of smudging and blending, and hopefully it'll be okay. Well, I hope this was a fun thing. I hope it was. If there's any problems, then and this didn't work, then apologies. I shall come up with an alternative way of doing it next time. This is the first time I've really done any sort of streaming, so I don't know if it's worked or not. And no one watched it really, I don't think. But if you did watch it, thanks for watching, and swing by again next time. There'll be more of this stuff. Probably next time we'll probably call him a different page, because next time is scheduled to be probably Monday evening, about the same time. Alright, so that's what, right, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's in about 4 days, right? Okay, alright. See you all later. Bye.